But it's a little late at this point, and I can still see you.
Shut up, lady!
What did I do?
It's that time again, folks. This loser is making another progress video on the ever popular and ever so long journey of watching One Piece in its entirety. No skipping fillers, no looking at One Piece, just watching the whole thing from start to end. And this arc is pretty important, because we now have a new Straw Hat pirate joining the crew, like permanently. As much as I like Vivi, she's just a passing member who has her own quest to fulfill. Also, her pet duck is kind of annoying.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Now, I don't want to waste any more time, so let's just get straight through the Drum Island arc, or I guess Winter Island, since this place is covered in snow.
Hello? Sure is chilly today.
Yeah, it is chilly today.
Are you stupid or something?
So, last time, the Straw Hats were about to set sail towards Alabasta, Vivi's hometown, in order to stop Crocodile's plans in taking over the country. But, the ship's navigator all of a sudden falls ill. This finally leads Luffy and the others to find a doctor for the crew in case this happens again, and instead of going to Alabasta, where a lot of turmoil is happening, they try to stop at the nearest island they can find. Their plans go south as this new pirate named Wapol tries to take over the Going Merry, using his devil fruit powers, Munch Munch, to eat their ship. Wow, he's got a big appetite. I wonder how the Straw Pirates will— oh, never mind, he's gone.
You're terrible!
Yeah, these pirates are incredibly stupid looking, but their designs make them unique. This jester-looking fellow looks like a dweeb, and his voice has that grating, squeaky voice too. Wapol has one of the most effective devil fruit powers out there, yet he's just so weak compared to the likes of Luffy. Like, this man doesn't stand a chance. So, upon entering this new island, Drum Island, the whole residence immediately tries to send them back to where they came. Luckily, they see that Nami is sick, and one of the villagers, Dalton, does his best to get them up to the mountaintop where the only doctor on the island lives. Yeah, so apparently that one pirate Luffy took out, Wapol, used to be the king of Drum Island and ruled with an iron fist, pretty much taking every doctor on the island and hiring them only for his needs. Now, not every doctor was being handed by Wapol. There were two others that didn't quite fit the bill of a regular medical person, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, with Luffy and Sanji being the stronger of the four, they decide to take Nami along the path to the mountain and wait, are those bunnies? Like, large white rabbits? Are we really thinking that these guys are a huge threat to Drum Island? Seriously?
That rabbit's got a vicious streak a mile wide. It's a killer.
No joke, these giant furballs are apparently at the top of the food chain here. Yet, they also have bears living here as well, but are much more common and respected by the island. Yet, these bunnies are rabid and ruthless. Okay, whatever.
Don't just stand there. Do something, Zoro.
Cannibal.
So, Wapol and his crew return because Munch Munch Man doesn't want to be a pirate anymore and wants to reclaim his throne. This makes Dalton ready to face off against him and also has eaten a devil fruit, turning him into a bison. This is actually one of the cooler devil fruit powers I've seen so far. He looks so tough in this form, one of the few transformations we get to see. Gee, I wonder what other characters in this anime had that power. Now, unfortunately, Dalton comes off kind of weak due to him getting shot at by the dumb jester over here. Really took that L there. Luffy and Sanji also take an L when a huge avalanche shows up and knocks Sanji out cold, leaving Luffy to carry both of them up the mountain. But that doesn't really matter because the doctor who lives on that mountain isn't even there. In fact, she's back at the village treating this kid while also blackmailing the villagers with their own personal belongings and high payments. Yeah, no wonder the town calls her a witch. We also see this random deer along for the ride, though he's probably not going to be anything of importance. So before we get ahead, let's look at our characters and their progression so far. It kinda sucks that out of all the Straw Hats to get sick, it had to be the one that could have benefited within the plot a bit more if they were switched with someone else. But no, Nami is the one to suffer and pushed to the sideline while the others get a little more development. I would have loved to see Nami and Vivi's friendship blossom a bit more. It would have really benefited with them probably being the two smartest people on the ship and would have gotten this doctor thing situated. Which, by the way, do you know how Nami got sick? We're kind of assuming that she has a hot fever and the heat exhaustion is getting to her, but the witch doctor actually reveals she got bitten by some bug called the Kestia, which kills you in 5 days. But if Nami gotten bitten, wouldn't the others also get bit? Apparently, if you show too much skin, you're an easy target. But I mean, Usopp and Luffy have exposed arms. Heck, Luffy is wearing shorts. Why just Nami? Apparently, the dreaded 4Kids dub skipped the Little Garden arc in its entirety, so they changed the sickness to just having Grand Line Fever. And, if I'm gonna be honest, seems like a better choice than having a bug bite you. Like, come on, you would think everyone would have gotten the disease here. You let a very important and underrated character get nerfed into oblivion this arc. Speaking of getting sidelined, wow, they had nothing to do with Zoro here, did they? Basically staying on the ship to protect it, the manga and anime just give Zoro some silly gags here training in the cold and failing at it too. And that's pretty much it. Way to see my favorite character babysitting an annoying duck. Vivi and Usopp kind of get more screen time here, but it's more so just bypassers hearing about the backstory of Drum Island and nothing else. So, naturally, that just leaves Luffy and Sanji, who both happen to be the all-stars of this arc. Although, that's not saying much, because all they have to do is go up the mountain while battling giant rabbits. So, take that what you will. As I've stated before, the villain in this arc is kind of lackluster. Wapol is more on the goofy side, yet there really isn't so much charm on him. He just comes off as an irritating tick you won't get off. Or, should I say, Kestia? Seriously, that whole disease plot makes no sense. A reason why so many people like Buggy is because he actually does have that humor in him. He's actually entertaining to watch, even though you're rooting against him. Wapol is more so that typical high school bully that steals your lunch. And his cronies aren't really that fun either. Dalton does seem a little one-note, just trying to do his best to protect Drum Island, but he definitely gets interesting once you realize his devil fruit powers. But enough stalling, we all know why this arc is memorable. While I may have some criticisms for this first act, the second act really brings it together, because we finally get to the chonky reindeer himself, Tony Chopper. Or just Chopper for short.
I don't need thanks from you or any other low-life human! Don't mock me!
So remember that random reindeer helping out Kuria at the village? Well, this reindeer happens to possess the human fruit, which allows any animal to talk, interact, and sometimes walk like a human, along with having the same intelligence as a human too. Plus, this devil fruit is considered a zone fruit, which allows the user to transform into 3 different forms, from a regular human, to an animal, to both forms combined to create a human beast. So yeah, Chopper can talk and walk just like Luffy and the others. And to make things more interesting, this deer is also a doctor, something Nami and Luffy take interest in and desperately try to persuade Chopper to join their crew. But you see, behind that cute and innocent exterior, there are some emotional issues. In one of the best Straw Hat's backstories so far, we see Chopper get disowned by his family herd of reindeers after he eats the human fruit. I mean, apparently they already hated him for his blue nose, but like, was it that distracting? We're not getting any Rudolph vibes here. His nose ain't bright, he won't glide your sleigh tonight. Oh, wait a minute. But after his consuming of the fruit and his transformations, the herd was like, and abandoned the poor reindeer. It doesn't help that the regular humans on Drum Island mistaken Chopper for a Yeti and just start blasting.
And I fired, and I missed. This went on for several hours.
Luckily, this doctor named Hiraluk, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, takes him in and shows him the way of medicine and the strengths of a pirate. So, naturally, when the guy gets sick, Chopper gives him a poisonous mushroom. I mean, Chopper didn't know, but he did just read a book to poison people, so take that what you will. But this guy takes it in stride and eats it to encourage Chopper to become a doctor and not worry about his well-being. Then he goes to Wapol's castle and drinks an explosive formula, unaliving himself. Oh my gosh! Chopper's whole backstory is one of the saddest and sweetest parts of this whole arc. The one person who genuinely cared for him sacrificed himself to protect him and show him the resolve of a doctor. Now, Kuria takes over to become Chopper's mentor, though it's more of a tough love relationship where Kuria always finds a way to annoy Chopper, but still has a sweet spot for him. In fact, Kuria actually reveals that Hiraluk knew that he was dying, which is why he drank the poison. The man wanted Chopper to truly believe in himself as a doctor. So, Wapol comes back to reclaim his throne, and Luffy, being the only Straw Hat to take him down, is ready. Oh yeah, Nami is still in bed despite being full of health, and Sanji hurt his back. Now, the fight between Luffy and Wapol is nothing special. Again, with how comical Wapol really is, even with a supposed powerful devil fruit, he's taken out easily by Luffy. The real standout is Chopper going against Wapol's cronies, Chess and Kuromarimo. See, Chopper is actually different from normal zone users. With each zone user having 3 forms, human, beast, and human beast, Chopper, being the excellent doctor that he is, invents the Rumble Ball, this jawbreaker that grants him 4 more forms. And he expertly uses these forms at certain times to knock out the cronies head on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting excited over a chubby little reindeer. So, with Wapol and his crew kind of gone, the Straw Hats finally persuade Chopper to join their crew, which he accepts. Kuria doesn't take this too well, charging at Chopper to stay, but this was all a ruse as she was planning to send Chopper away anyway, and she fires her cannons and sends the island an emotional farewell. A huge dust of Hiruluk's medicine to make the snowy sky look like cherry blossoms, something Hiruluk thought would be the best cure for all human beings. Chopper's face through this whole spectacle says it all, and it's a beautiful ending for this arc. Although I was half expecting that one meme to show up here. Apparently that's from a movie. Ugh, rats. And that was the Winter Island arc, or Drum Island arc. I don't know why this arc's title is so confusing. While I do have some major gripes with Wapol and the whole disease plot, the character development and the emotional depth in this arc truly makes it one of the better ones I've seen. Probably second best right after Arlon Park. Sorry Chopper, but that arc is just goated. Seriously though, this arc is more than just about finding a doctor on the ship. It's about friendship, family, and self-acceptance. Chopper finally gets the acceptance he needs with the Straw Hats, and the whole crew finally gets a new member to join the team. It's a very underrated arc, something I don't quite see from the fandom when ranking the best. It's more so just the introduction of Chopper to them. Yeah, the sluggish pacing of the first act and the forgettable nature of Wapol are weak, but Drum Island's strengths fundamentally outweigh these issues. Drum Island serves a heartwarming story of an outcast finally being accepted, that being with a whole group of outcasts. This just has that found family trope I love and provides such a powerful and heartbreaking backstory with Tony Chopper. Not to mention, this arc was actually quite political. The stemming from Wapol's tyrannical rule and the subsequent lack of medical care. The sacrifice of Hiruluk, driven by his unwavering belief in the cure for the island's heart. Very powerful stuff. Yeah, I definitely like this arc. The second half definitely carries this by a lot, but still an excellent arc. It seems like we're finally headed to Alabasta, an arc where things are going to go down. We already got small glimpses of Crocodile and Number 2 making their ways into the next big story, and it also looks like Smoker is along for the ride too. I was wondering when he was going to show up again. It felt like a waste just leaving him behind in Season 1. Vivi is definitely going to be the main focus this time around, her being the Princess of Alabasta and all that. Hopefully all 6 of the Straw Hat Pirates get equal moments to shine. I am not letting Zoro be in the laughingstock again. And give Nami something to do also, please. Until then, get ready for part 4 in the near future as we head to the sandy island of Alabasta. And I will see you next time.
Those guys, can't they see you're having a sentimental moment here? I'm sorry, Chopper. Chopper? You too?